Good afternoon. We talked about experience when you meditate on shamatha. So once again, if your good experience arises, we should not feel we are better than everyone else. We should just continue meditate. That's why I think they really know that in Tibet, great masters, they all very humble person. Their meditate getting better and better. They're more humble. They never thought that I'm really better than everyone else. They just less, selfish, ego. And so this the very obstacle. If you have a very good experience and all the signs of the practice meditations will come up, you think you are very better than everyone else and kind of feel that way, it's not so good. So just let go and continue meditate. And if a bad experience arises, you should not become sort of worried or stress that will just cause us to fall into lower existence. We should just continue with our meditation and maintain the practice continually. That's all. That's we need. This is very important to know. If you really want to practice in your life, sometimes we have good experience, sometimes bad experience, sometimes nothing happened. Just so you should just let go everything and just do continually. That's, I think, very, because to see the true nature of phenomena, you have to have a clear understanding and be able to focus the mind on the object for as long as is necessary. You might think that it is possible to practice shamatha alone or practice Vipashyana without doing any shamatha. Shamatha meditation alone will not be able to remove the all afflictive emotions, right? I just mentioned earlier this morning, and will not destroy the misconception of self, shamatha alone. So if either of these is missing, then the true nature of things cannot be perceived. So you need to have both, shamatha and Vipashyana. That's why the Indian master Kamala Shila said that mind will be distracted to different objects if cultivates only special insight or the Vipashyana without developing a shamatha mind. It will be also unstable, like a candle, in the wind. Due to the power of shamatha or Komobiden meditation, the mind will not be disturbed by conceptual thoughts. And Vipassana, or spiritual insight, eliminate all the wrong views. So that's why we have to have both. So that's all about, very shortly, about shamatha. Now I'm going to teach you about Vipassana. Sanskrit word, Vipassana, Sanskrit term. Vipassana, V means special or particular. And the second part, Pasana, means to see or to look. So it means to look at things in a very direct way. Vipassana means. In Tibet, lak tong. Lak means actually, lak means special. Tong means to see. So, in especially clear way, to see. And Bodhicitta also says that Vipassana has the clarity of understanding, which everything is seen clearly and distinctly. The relative is seen as relative. The absolute is seen as absolute. So the actual nature of things is seen as it is. And this is what mean by Vipassana. And the explanation of Vipassana, or the insight meditation. Sometimes we say in English Vipassana meditation. Sometimes we say insight meditation, right? You heard that? Insight meditation. Sometimes we called claircy. So insight meditation, or Vipassana, is divided into 5 parts. The first prerequisite condition for Vipassana. Second, different forms of Vipassana. Third, categorization of the nature of Vipassana. The fourth, methods of meditation for Vipassana. And the fifth, determine of accomplishment Vipassana. So I'm going to teach you all this because very important. Then you will see what is Vipassana. Otherwise people are kind of confused, you know. Sometimes they misunderstand. Looks like they practice shamatha, but they saying practice Vipassana. So that means because people don't know all these characteristics of Vipassana. So the first prerequisite conditions of Vipassana deals with the conditions necessary for Vipassana meditation. As same as the shamatha also is the prerequisite of conditions, right? In order to practice shamatha. Shamatha has also, I think, 5 parts of different sort of shamatha. So Vipassana, I'm sure you understand very clearly. Shamatha is very common, especially Western. So don't worry about that. But Vipassana, the first, also the Indian master Kamashala says that the first, the prerequisite, what are the prerequisites of spatial insight or the Vipassana? The first relying on holy person. Second, seriously seeking existence of instruction. Third, good contemplation. All right? So, first of all, we need to learn how to develop Vipassana meditation with holy person. That is the character of the Vipassana. So now Kamala Shila says that the relying on holy person. That means actually what types of holy person should you rely on? Then also Kamala Shila said that holy person means one who has heard many teachings, who is endowed with bodhicitta or great compassion, and able to withstand hardship. So now we must rely on a good teacher who gives pure Dharma teaching. Holy person means a good teacher, and who understood very well about the Buddha's teachings and also commentaries on the Buddha's teachings. It should be someone with sort of authentic experience of the teachings, with bodhicitta, with great compassion, because Buddha said also, if bodhicitta or great compassion is missing, even great learning is of little use. So I think that's very true, because if someone teaches without compassion, then the motivation will not so good. And these days there are so many Dharma books, right? And many people read them and meditate according to what they have read. I think that's good. That's one option, how to practice Buddha Dharma. But really need to depends on a special and learning teacher, because a book cannot sort of find the instructions and to one's own nature and sort of capabilities. It's just you read, and then you can, if you have a doubt, if you have some problem, you can ask, and it doesn't give you the answer. Well, most time. So therefore we need to rely on a special being who is able to teach in accordance with one's specific abilities. That means by Kamala Shila the first, relying on holy person. And also there are different kind of teachers. You need to know that. Some are very scholarly and give complete explanation based on the commentaries on different texts. Others may not be very scholarly, but give instructions based on a great deal of personal experience of meditation. Both of this good. And then there are also what is called the old ladies pointing instructions. Gammo Nzuptsuk in Tibet. Gammo means old lady, Nzuptsuk means point instructions. So, uh, this is like in instruction from an old lady who really doesn't know very much, but it is able to point out the key things to look for. Okay, so it is important for meditators to receive direct instruction from an experienced teacher. And as you know, in Buddhism, it is very important to investigate the source of what you are learning. You do not go by blind faith, right? But must come to a sort of decision through your own reasoning that Buddhism and Buddha are believable. To examine the teacher in a general way means to check whether or not the teacher has the qualities of bodhicitta that described in the sutras and tantras. If the teacher does have bodhicitta, then he will do whatever is best for the students, you know. So teacher, how you investigate, you just really need to know whether this teacher has a bodhicitta mind or not. That's the easiest how investigate about teacher. So there are so many other qualities that sutras and tantras explain, but it's not necessarily. If someone who has only bodhicitta mind, then that's great teacher. That means that teacher has a good motivation. So if you have a good motivation, whatever you do, it's benefit. And Buddha said that, you remember, in the What My Perfect Teacher, this quote is very, very common. In the beginning, does this by skillfully examine the teacher. You remember that? In the middle, skillfully follow him. In the end, skillfully follow his or her realization. And there's another one, but there's only one situation where you do not need to investigate your teacher. All right? This is when you have a karmic connection with him or her. In this situation, simply to meet him or her can change everything for you because of the karmic connection. So, but ordinary people like us are, for the most part, easily influenced by the people and circumstance around us. So that's why we should always follow a teacher. That's first, okay? And the second is according to Kamalashala's prerequisite of Vipassana, is seriously seeking existence, right? Existence of instructions, right? No, seriously seeking extensive instructions. Need to be careful. Otherwise, you will misunderstand. And I show you the wrong path. Okay, so that means Vipassana or insight meditation arises from its cause and correct view, which in turn arises from listening and contemplation. So with the correct view, we are able to meditate, and through meditation we develop right conduct and view, right view. So to develop correct right view, we don't just receive these teachings, but rather we must analyze and examine them continuously. So we shouldn't accept teaching sort of with blind faith. However, we should analyze and examine them so that we can sort of cut through our uncertainty and doubt, right? That the teachings from our teacher are correct and will lead us on the right path. So from this develops a clear view that the teacher's instructions are genuine. So depending on a teacher, receiving the teachings and analyze them. These three, right? Then you can sort of develop the correct view of Vipassana, definitely. And then third prerequisite of Vipassana is correct contemplation. This means when the Buddha gave teachings like three turns of wheel of Dharma, but he gave particular teachings to different individuals according to their particular nature, right? So that some of his teachings were the temporary truths, some were the ultimate truths, teachings. So if you have to go through the Buddha's teachings, deciding which teachings are temporary and which are sort of ultimate with logical analysis, right? Because Buddha gave so many different teachings. Some are just some individual, just temporarily. Oh, you should practice this, but maybe that's for that person, it's not ultimately. So that's why it is very important to study about two traditions. Remember the tradition of Nagarjuna, one of Buddha's the best student, who founded the tradition of the profound view, and the tradition of the Asanga, who founded the tradition of vast conduct. So Buddha's teachings profound and vast, right? The profound way Nagarjuna founded middle way. So he has so many teachings on middle way, right? The Madhyamaka. And then the vast Buddha's teaching, the Asanga founded, he so many teachings about Pranjana Paramita. So these two great masters were able to clearly distinguish the temporary and ultimate teachings of the Buddha, which they are sort of commentaries. Now, that is the third, the correct contemplation. We call it correct contemplation. So we finished the first prerequisite condition for Vipassana. Remember, it has 3 characters, right? That rely on holy person, and then seriously seeking instruction, and third is correct contemplation. Understand? So I think we should stop there and meditate, and then I will teach you the others after that. So please recite this Buddha's mantra again. But I think there are two ways, the multiplication, the mantra, there are two ways you can say it, but I think we have to say at the end this mantra, Soha. Om Sambara Sambara Vimana Sara Maha Jambaba Hompat Soha. I think we missed two syllables there. All right, and then after this we we'll do same meditate. Okay, you want different or same? I think same, just because sometimes difficult, but we have to do this continually. Then you will be able to really, if you do this more and more again and again. People really want just very easy. And all the time, of course we hope all the time good meditation, good practice. That's not possible, right? Because we are sort of not so accustomed to that way. We, always busy and so many things going around us. So sometimes difficult to meditate, but that doesn't mean you cannot develop. So just sometimes it's difficult. Don't stop and just do continually, and then you will be successful. So I think we'll do same the meditation. That's first section we did. If you have any question, just let me know. Otherwise, we'll do that again.
What is the purpose of the multiplication mantra? What does it do?
Well, if you believe, if you say Tayata Mani Mani Mahamana Soha, just even though once, but if you have multiplication mantra, it's multiple, right? It's like 1,000, 100 times. So that's why. Yeah.
Would you say again the meaning of the multiplication mantra, or actually, yeah?
Multiplication mantra.
Is that written down below?
No.
No.
No, that multiplication mantra is if you recite this mantra, whatever you do, like when sometimes you go to a monastery and pray, sometimes go to church you pray. So before you recite this mantra, the multiplication mantra, then your prayer or mantra or whatever more stronger, more powerful, and multiplied, right? Multiplies thousands, hundreds, millions times. That means that. All right, any question about your meditation? No? You understand, right? How to, okay. Let's say, Om Sambara Sambara Bhamana Sara Maha Jambaba Hom Pat Soha. Om Sambara Sambara Bhamana Sara Maha Jambaba Hom Pat Soha. Om Sambara Sambara Bhamana Sara Maha Jambaba Hom Soha. Taya Tha Om Mani Mani Maha Manaye Soha. Taya Tha Om Mani Mani Maha Manaye Soha. Taya Tha Om Muni Muni Mahamunaye Soha. And there, this perfect path of Mahayana are firmly established. You understand what that means? The others are very easy, right? Perfect path of Mahayana means the combination, the union of bodhicitta and emptiness. That's I need to clear. Otherwise, everything is easy. All right. By reciting the names of the Buddha and the mantra, the great light of various wisdom rays, limited from bodies of the Buddha, purify all the obscuration of myself and all sentient beings. The virtues of the perfect path of the Mahayana are firmly established in the states of return. So if you want, you just visualize Buddha, and sometimes the 5 different colors raise from his heart and through his heart and your heart, and then as soon as you get that, purify all your negative emotions, not only yourself, all sentient beings, purify all your negative emotions, and then just meditate the union of his wisdom mind and your crazy mind, and then purify your crazy mind, transform into Buddha's wisdom mind, and then you just meditate on that. That's also good. That's also kind of Guru Yoga practice. Okay. Any questions?
Question. So you were talking about selflessness, or sort of looking at the nature of a lack of inherent self earlier. How do you actually experience that when you do this, Vipashyana and shamatha meditation? When do you experience sort of a lack of self or a lack of inherent self?
How will I understand that?
Or how do you experience that? Like, does that actually, is that a feeling that you can experience?
No, I don't understand that.
So you were talking earlier about that when you see the nature of mind, you see the relative as the relative and the absolute as the absolute. And so in some ways, we have a lack of inherent self. Like we arise out of causes and conditions. Our bodies and our minds and our speech are all very interdependent. I'm just asking you, based on your personal experience of meditation, if you experience that somehow, that lack of self. Because intellectually I can understand it, but I'm just wondering how that is experienced in meditation.
Still, I don't get. You mean how I know that I have the nature of my mind? Is that your question?
I guess it would be, yeah.
How I know?
Like how you recognize the relative as the relative and the absolute as the absolute. How does that recognition happen in this type of meditation?
Well,
The nature of the mind?
that means when we see things in relatively, this is house, this is a person, this is this and that, right? We all share everything. You see this house, I see this house. We are same in that way, right? If I am a Buddha, you are just an ordinary person, then I see also house, but you see the house, but our understanding is different. Because when I see this house, it's immediately I understood this comes from emptiness, or the interdependent origination, right? So that means when I see house, it's just like illusion. That means I have no attachment to the house. This is just like a dream. So then I understand it doesn't exist. Even though I use it, but it doesn't exist. It's like a dream. When you have a dream, you have a very lovely child. It's died. You're very sad, unhappy, or if you found something amazingly, you are very happy. That makes, even though it's a dream, it makes you happy and unhappy, right? So that's the same. Buddha and Bodhisattvas see all this appearance relatively, but they just understand it's like a dream. It doesn't exist. So you don't want to be happy, you don't want to be unhappy. It's good or bad, it doesn't bother them. What circumstance, good or bad, doesn't bother them because they understand. That means you see the relatively as the relative means it's like a dream.
So it appears when it's empty.
Appears because the empty.
Because of emptiness.
That's the difference. If the ordinary people like no idea about these things, then if we say, oh, this house appears because of emptiness, doesn't make sense, right? Why? What? If this emptiness, how it appears, right? They think it's like opposite way. But if you really understand about the interdependent origination, then if you say the house appears, the people are here because of emptiness, then everything is possible. That means it doesn't exist in permanently, right? Always changing. Always depends on cause and condition. The cause and conditions, if you investigate, eventually become nothing. You just disappear, right? That scientists explain that way. Just when they investigate this flower, detailedly, they just get nothing, disappear, right? But in Buddhist, they call that's the emptiness. So if you investigate this flower, you find something permanently, that means not emptiness. Then it's not possible. It's not possible to become a flower. Flower means you just change in moment by moment, right? If something is permanent, you can't change. Always same. So then it doesn't change color, change shape. If it's not emptiness, it cannot change color, it cannot change shape, nothing.
So you were talking about how Buddha and Bodhisattva would see that emptiness, and they would experience it also as emptiness. So they would be able to use it and interact with it, but they'd have no attachment to it. So it
right.
could continually change.
A quick answer is your question is, I think, this flower is appear, and you say why, and then Buddha said because emptiness. All right. Yeah.
How important is it to stay still?
How important? Stay what?
To keep your body still, to not move. I find it very hard.
No, it's not. It's just fine. You have to when you feel you have to move, just to move. don't don't really tight, don't really push yourself, even though it's difficult. You just like, it's not good for your meditation. Whenever you feel you need to move or change position, you should do that.
No, then I worry about disturbing other people.
That's why I say you can, even though we meditate like 20 minutes, within 20 minutes, some are very stable, some are not, right? Because of the body's feelings like tingles and sleepers, your legs. Then you can take a break, but very quietly. Then the other people, you just let them meditate, So just to do slowly, quietly, Is that your question?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, body and mind are very related to each other, right? Of course. Your body also need very comfortable. Otherwise, your mind can't calm. If your body is difficult position, it's difficult your mind too. So, but just first you just do very comfortable, and then meditate and don't focus on your feeling, on your body. Then we'll be fine. If you focus or you think about your body, then you need to sometimes you need to move, or it's hurt or something, right? But you just ignore, and you just focus on your main meditation, which means like look at your mind and just to focus that, you will forget your position, your body. Sometimes you really deeply focus on your meditation, you feel it's something like empty. It's not you can't feel you have a body. It's just you feel like everything is empty. If you really go deeply into your meditation, you will feel there is no pain, no soul, just to feel nothing. Everything is like empty and clarity. That's all. That's you need to, take care more and more.